This podcast is part of the Soul Zone Network.
Hello, and welcome to the Butterfly Connection.
Connecting your soul to source with Rahe-Randall and Sarah Courtney.
We are all connected, and we are not alone. What if you could rebirth your soul, gain movement in your life, and reconnect with your authentic self?
Join us each week as we connect with Source to answer the burning questions that lie deep within us and gain clarity and wisdom to soar to our greatest potential.
It's time to fly.
This is BK10, Removing Judgment. Hello. It's Molly flying solo today. I hope everyone has had a fantastic week. And thank you so much for tuning in today. The biggest message I keep getting is one word, and that word is judgment. How we judge ourselves, how we judge each other, and how that is affecting our ability to truly love ourselves and truly live an authentic life. You know, it seems like judgment starts almost immediately. Right away, as you are born and growing, there's already people out there that are maybe judging the way that your parents choose to parent, or judging you based off of how quickly you might be learning how to sit or stand or eat or walk, or even, as we would say in parent terms, learn how to pee on the potty. We as humans, we come into this world already full of knowledge. And what I mean by that is our souls come into this world full of knowledge. Now, we may not remember most of that knowledge that we come here with, but we all come here with knowledge. Have you ever gone through portions of your life or times in your life where you just knew something, but you had no idea how you even knew that? Well, that is your inner knowing. And it's interesting because all of the times that we have that inner knowing, there's a lot of times where we will start to second guess and judge ourselves as if what we do know maybe isn't right or good enough, or we're afraid of what other people might think. And if you think about this, it starts as early as when you are learning how to do things as a baby. We have all of these milestone apps or books and things that, when your kid is this month, when your child is, by this age or this many months, they should be doing this and they should be doing that and whatnot. And so we're always going, all right, well, you're 6 months old, you should be doing this right now. Or you're 12 months old, you should be walking by now. And, just all of these ideas of when we should be doing things. But the true reality is we as souls and people will do things as we're ready. And a book can't tell us when we're ready, because our inner knowing knows when we're ready. And if we are being pushed and judged and felt like we're not good enough, it can literally stop our progress from maybe when we are supposed to be doing things and learning. I found for myself, this was something that I really had to work on when my children were born. With them coming 3 months early, there's already this whole stigma of they're behind. They came out 3 months early. They're going to be behind on everything. And I really had to put faith in the process. I really had to remind myself consistently that they will do things as they're ready. As long as I give them the tools and the opportunity to explore and the support to explore, they will do it when they're ready. I worked really hard not to pay attention to what other kids were doing at that age, to what other parents were doing at that age. I really tried to just focus on my children, what I knew about my children, and I gave them the situations and the support that they needed so that they could do things when they were ready. And interestingly enough, one of my daughters was what they would call right on schedule, not by preemie stage, but by regular age, right on schedule for walking and crawling and all of those other things, which that was great. But that's what she was ready to do. Now, on the other aspect, her gross motor skills were great, but her fine motor skills took a little bit longer to develop. And her sister, due to some surgeries that she had as a baby, it took a little bit longer to build up her core muscles for her to even be able to walk and crawl and whatnot. So they, being twins, weren't even doing milestones at the same time. And that was really interesting for me because, even with that, stereotypes and judging of raising children, when you have twins, people get these crazy ideas in their heads that they should be dressed alike, or because they came out at the same time, they should be doing the same things at the same time, almost as if they're not their own individuals. And they are their own individuals. It does not matter that they were in the oven, so to speak, at the same time. They might have come out of the oven at the same time, but it doesn't mean that they're the same person, and they are absolutely not the same person. They are their own individuals, and they do things in their own time when they are ready, and it's not at the same time. And now that they're older, I have to remind them both, if one is accomplishing something that the other isn't, that is okay, because sometimes the roles reverse and one gets one a little bit easier than the other. So I think in terms of judgment, starting as young as our little ones, we can really create a disservice to them if we're already creating an environment where we're judging them on milestones that they might not be ready for yet. So if you have a child that's struggling with something, absolutely offer them the support that they need and the environment that they need to accomplish what they're ready for. But on the other aspect, also honor the fact that they might just not be ready yet. And that's okay. Just because a book says that kids should be reading by 5 or kids should be reading by 6 or whatever the situation, that does not necessarily mean that is what's best for your child, or that your child's going to be super efficient in it by a certain age. And the same goes for us as adults. We are our own individuals, and we know what we are capable of and what we are not capable of. And we know what we're good at, and we know what we need to get better at. But if we honor those things that we may not be as good at, if it is something that we truly want to do, you can do anything. You can do anything that you put your mind to. May it take a little longer to accomplish than something else that might come easier? Yes. But if it's something that you really want to do, push aside any kind of judgment that you might have and any kind of judgment that someone else might have, and just do it. And do it because you want to do it. And one thing that we can start doing for ourselves is if we stop judging ourselves and we stop judging others, then we can start to set an example for this. We grow up in a society that does a lot of judging, but it doesn't have to stay that way. And you don't have to surround yourself by people like that all the time. There may be situations where you will be in a situation with someone who's judgmental, but that does not mean that you have to take the judgment and internalize it and believe it to be true. Because we know what the truth is. Sometimes we cover the truth up, our inner knowing, our inner truth. Sometimes we cover it up so much and it's buried so deeply that we cannot find it. I promise you, though, if you can start to weed through the endless amounts of hidden doors deep inside you, you will find the door that has your inner knowing and your inner truth. And if you are strong in your convictions and who you know you are, even if someone does pass judgment on you, you know that that has nothing to do with you. You will know at that time that whatever that person's passing judgment on is probably a large reflection upon something that they pass judgment on for themselves. Because many times we show outward judgment due to the fact that it is something that we are judging inward. And if we can slowly get out of the habit of judging ourselves, then there will not be any need to judge others. If we can start to see ourselves for what we are capable of, then we will start to see others for what they are capable of. We are all on our own journey. We are all on our own paths. And the finish line does not look the same for anyone. It doesn't look the same for babies. It doesn't look the same for kids. It doesn't look the same for teenagers. It doesn't look the same for young adults. It doesn't look the same. We all have our own finish line. We just need to stay in our lane and focus on us and focus on what we know to be true and where we want to be and where we want to go, and support the other person and the other people in our lives, and support them in a way that they know that whatever path they're on, whatever finish line they are attaining is possible, and give them that support. Remove the judgment and just give love and support. Just imagine for a moment what that would look like. If we believed in ourselves, and we believed in ourselves so much that anything was possible, anything we put our mind to was possible. That inner knowing that tugs at us, that shows us when we're in situations where we feel unhappy. We're unhappy because we're not honoring ourselves. We're probably unhappy because we're spending more time judging ourselves than we are honoring ourselves. And if we start to honor ourselves and honor our happiness and honor what makes us happy, we can give that to others. And hopefully others can start to see that and give that to themselves. And then all of the negative judgment can go away. And we can see our souls for where they're at in this life. Because this is the life we're in right now. And we're all learning whatever it is that we are supposed to be learning while we're here. We need to honor that and allow it to happen. And allow it to blossom in the way that it is meant to blossom and grow. So for this week, I really want you to stop yourself if you start to hear that little voice of judgment. I want you to stop yourself and replace it with something positive. I want you to go within your heart and tell yourself what you know to be true. Because the judgment is not true. Your inner knowing is truth. And the next time you see someone and that creeping judgment might come into your mind about something you feel that they should be doing or shouldn't be doing, or somehow whatever happens where you start to hear judgment to another person, flip that around and find the positive in them and give them a compliment. We don't compliment each other enough. We don't lift each other up in the way that we should. And we all need to work on that more. So I also want you to lift someone up this week. Give someone a compliment, a smile, a hug, whatever you feel guided to do. And I would love to hear your experience with that. You can hop on over to my Facebook page, Tune In with Molly, and share that with me. Or you can go to the Butterfly Connection Facebook group page as well and share that. I would love to hear ideas of what you're doing to uplift yourself and uplift others, and what you're doing to connect with your inner knowing and inner truth. If you need any help along the way with clearing out any negative energy or unwanted energy, I do offer distance Reiki. I also offer sound healing and Reiki sessions at my home if you live in my area. And I also will be putting up a meditation this week to help you to connect with your inner knowing. So thank you again for listening. It has been a great joy to be able to share these podcasts with you each week. Sarah will be back with me next week for some more wonderful words of wisdoms from our guides, angels, and source. Till next week, much love and light to you.
Thank you for listening to The Butterfly Connection with Molly Rahe-Randall and Sarah Courtney.
Check out our website at thebutterflyconnection.com and download our free weekly guided journaling exercises.
We would love to hear from you. Subscribe to our podcast and give us a review. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest.
And join us next week for another soul-connecting conversation.